So these are my 7 tips for success at the Las Vegas shoot. I've already done 3 tips over on a video on the Online Archery Academy's website, so you can check that out. The link to the video is down in the description. But here's 7 more focused on compound, and in the other video we were focusing on recurves. So for my compound tips, let's go. First of all, I've got some vacancies in my online coaching school. So if anyone wants some one-to-one online coaching sessions, check out the information in the description. Now back to the video. Tip number 1, put some consideration into whether you enter into the flights or the championship division, because as a compound man, I can shoot in either. If you don't know what flights are, and I must admit the first time I went to Vegas, I did not. The difference is you got flights and championship. Championship means you are in with all of the pros and you are in the Vegas championship trying to be Vegas champion. Now to enter that costs about, let me have a look, $590. So it's not cheap. If you're on a bit of a budget and you don't think you're a hot shot and a high flyer, you can enter the flights tournament for $250. In the flights category, all compound men and women are grouped together. And after the first 2 days of shooting, so for the Sunday, you're broken down into groups of 32 archers. And on the last day, those 32 people, you shoot together and the winner of your division will win some prize money. So there's everything to play for. But there's a difference in the size of the groups. The numbers are staggering. How many people are in these? Let me just read you out. In the flights last year, there was 1,300 archers, or more than 1,300 archers. But that means there was multiple groups. So even club archers somewhere near the bottom, they still had a competition on the last day and they still had a chance of winning prize money. In the championship division, there was 105 women and nearly 300 men. So you can see it's a packed tournament with thousands of archers. Now score-wise, winning the flight number 1, that was a perfect score as well, just like in winning the pro categories. So when you're entering, have a think about where you are. Do you want to be in the championship with all the big guns and you could literally be on the same target as a world champion? Or do you want to be doing the flights where you have more of a competition maybe on that last day to try and win some prize money? Anyway, I've competed in both over the years, and I must admit the fun of being in the championship is what does it for me. Tip 2, as a compound archer, bring a selection of peeps. Too often I've seen people arrive at the Vegas shoot and other indoor shoots, to be fair, and the lighting is not always the best. The lighting is not always even target to target from one end of the hall to the other. So having a selection of peep sizes, because it might be when you get there, you need to increase the size of your peep to make the target brighter. So the smaller the peep, the clearer the target, but also the darker. And there's nothing worse than just having a target that's too dark. It doesn't matter how clear it is. If it's too dark and you can't really see what you're aiming at, your score is going to suffer. So often at these indoor shoots, putting in a bigger peep can make a huge difference to your score. So going there with an adjustable peep or having a selection of peeps that you can change, highly recommended. Tip 3 is go big or go home. And by that, I mean your arrows. Often as a compound archer, I'm shooting 50 meters, so I'm using the small 4.5mm X10 carbon arrows. But for the indoor season, getting the big aluminium arrows is part of the fun to me, and it can transform your score at the top end. I love the big arrows, the way they feel, the way they shoot. So for me, getting that larger diameter arrow, whether it's to be World Archery compliant, whether it's a 23-14, or whether you want to go full in on the Vegas experience and have a 26 something or a 27-12, having that big arrow, cutting it long, because that arrow will be stiff for you, so you might need to cut it 4, 5, 6 inches longer. If you look on the chart, that can tell you what length you need that arrow to be in spine. Also, putting in a heavy point, don't go with a 100 grain point, go with a 200 or a 300. That can make a huge difference. And with Easton, you can buy the 100 grain points and then literally screw, they sell weights to screw in the back, So you can turn that 100 grain point into 250 or 300. And that's perfect at 18 meters for getting the arrows to straighten up and keep on line. What also can help with that is putting feathers on the arrow. I know you probably think that's from the days of Robin Hood, which it is, but for indoor archery, feathers are fantastic. For outdoor archery, they're terrible. You get them wet, they're finished. But for indoor archery, there's nothing that straightens up your arrow faster than feathers. And if by chance they happen to hit you or the bow on the way past, they just fold out of the way really softly and easily and don't get deflected, unlike plastic vanes. So quite often you'll see people with 4, 5 or 6 inch feathers on the indoor circuit, and these really do help to straighten up these big arrows because you've only got 18 meters to get that arrow straight and hopefully hit the 10. Tip 4 is arrive in plenty of time. Now, I don't just mean on the day of competition, I mean in the run up to it. If you're traveling across America to go to Las Vegas, don't get there on the Friday when the competition starts. I personally wouldn't even get there on Thursday, the day of practice. Try and get there Wednesday, have a nice relaxing evening, then you can get up on practice day on the Thursday and hopefully have a good quality practice session ready for competition on Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Now, if you're traveling from any other part of the world or Europe, for me, even getting there on Wednesday was not enough. There's too many time zones, too much jet lag, too much travel. For me, getting there on the Tuesday or even the Monday, if I have that luxury, that really did make the difference. On the days leading up to the tournament, we used to visit one of the local archery shops and practice there. So we were still keeping fit, but also just get outside, get some daylight, reset that body clock. And then by the time your official practice comes on Thursday, I felt I was much more grounded and focused and able to deliver my best results. Tip 5 is focus on the drinking. Not the beer or the pina coladas, no, even though it's Las Vegas, I mean the water. These indoor halls, because the air conditioning, they really dry out your throat, dry out your lips. And of course, when you're competing, being dehydrated is really not good for your focus, really not good for your aim. So you have to consciously remind yourself in these situations. You want to be drinking all the time. You want to be carrying a water bottle. You can even get some nice archery water bottles nowadays and just keep hydrated. Because if not, it doesn't take long before you're a bit dehydrated, you're finding it hard to focus, and then your performance is going to drop off. Tip 6 is go shopping. I don't mean at the local shopping mall, I mean at the archery event. There's so many trade stands, there's so much equipment for sale, there's so many t-shirts and all sorts of things. There I would try and get all of my equipment for the coming season, buy myself some nice clothes, some nice jackets, because often there's archery clothing there you can't buy anywhere else. So it's really nice to support maybe your bow company, your sight manufacturer, have a nice t-shirt, then you look good down the club and probably save some money on some equipment for the season ahead. So for me, Las Vegas was often the finish of the indoor season. So maybe I'd be trying to get things ready for the outdoor season and really make the most of it. It's a good opportunity to have so many suppliers and dealers all in one place. Enjoy it. And tip 7, the bonus tip. From my experience of going to Vegas over a dozen times, try and stay in the hotel that's hosting the event. Now the competition does move around, but each time if you can stay in the hotel where the shoot is being hosted, it is fantastic. It just means you can go from your hotel room down to the competition much quicker. It means you can store the equipment in your bedroom rather than in the bow storage. But more than that, it means when you're socializing in the hotel, when you're maybe having a game of blackjack or something like that, you're surrounded by archers. And for us who are doing which sometimes can feel like a bit of a minority sport, going to a hotel where there's maybe 2,000-3,000 people staying there, all have a passion for your sport, I can tell you, it's fantastic. Now, I've had such a good time at the Vegas shoot over the years, so please enjoy yourself, have a great time, and to any target archer who's thinking about it and they've never done it, I believe every target archer should at least do it once in their career. It is a phenomenal experience. All right, enjoy.